birds whispering above. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy's in love. The old hooty owl hooty hoos to the dove. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy's in love. Does her darling feel what she feels when he comes near? Her heart beats so joyfully, you'd think that he could hear. Wish she knew if he knew what she's dreaming of. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy's in love. When the night is warm, soft and warm, she longs for his charms. She'd sing like a violin if she were in his arms. Wish she knew if he knew what she's dreaming of. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy's in love.
I declare, Nanny, you're purely a wondrous critter. Yes, you are. Fiddle yourself on old paper and tin cans, and it comes out pure nourishment.
Tammy, Tammy, you got a telegram. It's from Mr. Brand about that secretarial job.
You joking at me, Grandpa? Well, Mr. Brent's the richest man in these parts. Well, I'll be asking you for your offer later, Nan.
Don't evil eye me that way, Alexander. I wasn't fixing to visit with you. I fail you.
Can't hardly believe it. Our Tammy all growed up and going out into the world on her own.
Sure don't seem possible.
Well, we won't pamper ourselves with a wet goodbye. I might not even land that job. But all the same, I'm taking my belongings just in case.
Now, Tammy, I want you to hear to me, and you hear to me good. Now, you're going to be encountering men over there to that Brent place. And some men, when they look on a young gal, they ain't got nothing in their heads but female chasing.
Now, you listen to your grandpa, girl.
But you forget, Uncle Lucius. I spent 6 months in Boulder City learning to secretary. Boys over there was female chasing all the time. Some of them was even female catching.
Now, you're making light.
Don't make light of this, girl.
Anybody gets discourtly with you, you come a-hollering, you hear?
Grandpa, I'll keep in mind everything you taught me. I learned an awful lot of what to do in life from you.
Well, I had a little bit to do with your raising, too, you know.
Well, sure you did, Uncle Lucius, and I learned an awful lot of what not to do in life from you.
Thank you, Tammy.
Tammy, you're not going to be forgetting this, are you?
Of course not, Grandpa. I'll hold both of you in my mind and in my heart every day. And remember, the Brent place ain't within shouting distance, but it's real easy walking.
It's a mite uphill, though.
Lucius, you're about the laziest one human being I ever did know.
Me lazy? I've worked harder in my life.
You don't even know the meaning of the
Simmer
word.
down. Come on, you two. Now, I want you two to get along while I'm gone. No hedging on the housework or poking around the steel.
No.
Understand?
Oh, sure.
Well, come a storm, you lash up this houseboat real tight, you hear to me? And I want both of you to mind your habits real proper, you hear?
Oh, sure.
Well... Oh, now, scoot, Nanny, come on. Don't sail a loud board ship. Mind now, no hedging on the housework and look after each other, understand? Well, I'll be goodbying you now.
Goodbye, Tammy.
Bye. Grandpa.
Tammy,
Oh.
How in the world's that girl ever going to get along without us?
It's a worry, Mordecai. A pure worry.
Oh, Mother, please don't make me go through with this. I don't think I'm qualified to be Mr. Brent's secretary.
Mother knows best, Gloria. You're a Tate, and a Tate has fast reflexes and a penetrating mind.
We do?
Peter, stay in the car and play the radio or something.
Mother, why don't you marry Mr. Brent? Then Gloria wouldn't have to go through with all this.
The man does the asking, brother dear, remember?
I know, but she's been waiting for years.
Peter, the radio, play it. You see, dear, with you in the house, John will have the feeling of family.
Well, hello there.
My respects.
What is a ravishing creature like you doing around here?
My name's Tammy Tarleton. Came to try out as secretary for Mr. Brand. Goodness. Are you him?
No, but I am John Brent's close friend and confidant. Peter Tate, you've heard of us. The aristocratic financial Tates. You know, banks, money, that sort of thing.
Oh, I'm pleased to meet you. Oh, you've got nice teeth and a friendly smile.
You really think so?
Well, yes. Grandpa says a friendly smile is better than gold in the money hole.
Well, your grandfather must be quite a man. Now, you follow me. I'll take you right in. When I tell John that you're a friend of mine, well, you're practically in.
Well, as Mrs. Tate says, it takes time to get back into the swing of things.
Mr. Brent, sir, may I remind you that we still have the Tarleton girl coming, sir, and all those others.
We have only the Tarleton girl left to consider, Dwayne.
Miss Tammy Tarleton has arrived. Tammy, this is Mr. Brent.
Miss Tarleton.
Hi.
This is Mr. Witt.
Miss Tarleton.
Hey, dear.
This is my mother, Mrs. Tate.
How do you do?
And my sister, Gloria.
Hello. My respects.
This young lady shows promise, J.B.
You don't mind me saying it, Mr. Brand, but this here office is even grander than the new bus depot over at Bodris City.
Mr. Brent.
Yes?
Mr. Brent, sir, I strongly suggest that we send this young woman packing. I mean, she obviously does not qualify.
I must say the same thought crossed my mind.
But since she's taken the trouble to come here, she at least deserves the courtesy of an interview.
Well, of course she does. Appearances are often deceiving. Come, children, let's allow Miss Tarleton a little privacy. Come along, Peter.
You know, traipsing around this here fancy layout would sure give a body the feeling of living high off the hog for sure.
My dear young woman, your accent alone disqualifies you.
Glory, Mr. Witt, accents don't show on typewritten letters.
Well, now, that's true. But you see, there is a question of grammar.
Oh, I can cipher and grammarize and comma with the best of them. I just don't like bothering my brain with such nonsense.
Miss Tarleton.
Tammy.
Tammy. Sit down, Tammy. Let's try some dictation. I'll get you a notepad.
Oh, I write direct onto the machine.
Oh, you mean that you don't take dictation? Well, fine, goodbye, and thank you for your trouble.
Wait a minute, Wayne. Tammy, can you actually type fast enough to keep up with dictation?
Oh, I'd be powerful proud to show you.
Mr. Brent, I mean, the things that she does to the English language are making me positively nauseous.
Take something for it. Try this, Tammy. Mr. Blair Wentworth, 1624 Barclay Lane. As you well know, our shipments leave New Orleans on our own ships, therefore I can't understand the delay.
Let me try it, sir. Dean Simpson, Brancala City. Dear Dean, It has come to our attention that some of the Brent Scholarship grants are going to people not thoroughly qualified. So send Humpty Dumpty to fall off the wall, and all the king's men. A squared times the hypotenuse equals the cube root of 7 taken to the 9th power. Mama's in the counting house counting out her boyfriend, who is a boxer. Hey, diddle diddle, the fiddle's a Stradivarius, and so's the cat. Mr. Brent, this is ridiculous.
It's all there, Dwayne. Every comma, all the spelling, everything, including Mr. Brent. This is ridiculous.
They say I got fast reflexes. Something you get born with, like being good at calling hogs.
I'm sorry to have to disappoint you, but Tammy here is the fastest, most expert typist we've ever seen. Right, Dwayne?
Oh, fast.
Oh, that's all right, Mr. Brent. I understand. Well, don't fret yourself, no, Miss Gloria. You see, I had the advantage of a typing school education. Miss Tate, you just send her over to me any day after I'm through with work, and I'll limber up her fingers so she can get a job someplace else.
What?
Well, that's settled then. Tammy, I want you to stay here at the Bowers. You'll be one of the family now. We'll all try to make you feel right at home. Won't we?
Yes, I'll do everything in my power to make your stay here an experience you'll never forget.
The same goes for me, Tammy.
And I know Dwayne will do his bit.
Oh, yes, of course. Miss Tarleton, you have no idea how I feel just knowing that we'll be working together.
Oh, glory be! Oh, it sure does make a person glow to know she's among friends.
Hi.
Hi.
Say, you better get those flowers into water quick. They look pretty tired.
Oh, these aren't flowers. They're greens. I'm going to make a pan-fried catfish lunch for my employer. That's the man I work for.
You work here?
Well, I secretary some and telephone message some. And I think I'm supposed to ask folks how come they're driving up selling valises. That's called receptioning.
I see. Well, you tell Mr. Brent that his son is home from college. Ask him if he may stay for a few days. And tell him he has a very lovely receptionist who blushes quite easily.
Oh, Mr. Brent, I feel more hot-faced than a pumpkin with a fat candle inside it.
No more Mr. Brent, please. I'm Stephen. What's your name?
Tammy Tarleton.
Well, I'm glad to meet you, Tammy. Say, tell me something. Where did you get those catfish you're going to cook for my father?
The river. I'll throw another one onto the pan for you.
Oh, no, thanks. I've had lunch and I've got some unpacking to do. But you can do me a favor.
What's that?
Well, invite me along next time you go fishing. I haven't had a line in the water since I was a little boy.
Well, that'd be fine.
Don't forget now, I'm going to hold you to it.
Oh, I won't forget. Stephen.
Tammy, cook tells me you prepared a special lunch for me. You didn't have to do that.
It's nothing fancy, Mr. Brent. Besides, it pleasures me to pleasure you.
Thank you.
You've been so kind.
Well, what do we have here?
Pan-fried catfish. Grandpa fetched it up this morning. So fresh caught that it was still a dripping branch water. And for the go-whiz, there's hush puppies and collard greens.
Catfish and hush puppies. Tammy, I haven't had that combination since I was a little boy.
Mr. Brent! Mr. Brent, we have a crisis on our hands.
Couldn't it hold till after the eating? Bad news always sets better on a full stomach.
Tammy's absolutely right. I'll take the crisis with my coffee.
It can't wait, Mr. Brent. The whole Bristol deal is falling apart. The London people here are insisting on keeping their corporate structure intact, but the Alabama people are demanding complete fiscal control.
Golly, Mr. Webb. You mean they's a feuding?
Miss Tarleton, please, spare us the swampisms. This deal involves millions. You'll have to fly to London immediately.
Better call the airport, Tammy. Get me on the next plane.
You say so, Mr. Brent, but why don't you let the Alabama folks talk direct to the London folks and maybe they can disagree themselves?
What?
Grandpa always says a swamp fox never gets caught in the middle of a feud because he knows the only thing he can get is both barrels from both sides.
Tammy, you're a born executive. Dwayne, sick Alabama on London and let him fight it out while I finish my lunch.
Oh, but you can't. I mean, you shouldn't. I mean...
Dwayne...
Yes, sir.
Mr. Witt, when you get your chores done, there's plenty of catfish to go around.
Catfish.
I sure hope Mr. Witt ain't mad at me. I didn't mean to get involved in your financial affairs.
You speak up any time you like. I just wish you were 20 years older, so you could have been here that much sooner. I might not have made quite so much money, but I'd have a lot fewer gray hairs.
Gloria, get dressed. I've just had a phone call from Dwayne Witt. Stephen is home.
Wonderful. Let's have him over to dinner tonight. Mama, can you get my back? It's turning to disgust in calm and red.
Gloria, have you forgotten that new secretary of John's is in the house?
Mama, you're not suggesting that Stephen would so much as look at little Miss Oleander and Corn Pone? Oh, she's like a book out of the past.
Yes, and it's up to us to make sure that Stephen doesn't start browsing.
But Mama, what am I going to say to Stephen?
Really, Gloria, you must develop a sense of attack. Let's get over there first and think later.
Oh.
Have we got everything?
Well, I think so. Everything except the worms. We can thump them up at the river. Are you sure your daddy said we could go fishing like this right in the middle of a workday?
He insisted. He wants some more of those catfish lunches that you made for him. Dwayne insisted that you leave, too.
Oh, well, Mr. Witt's wonderful that way. He keeps sending me out of the room and telling me to take my time coming back.
Yeah, Dwayne's all heart.
What are we stopping here for?
There goes Stephen with Tammy. They're going fishing. Don't you dare let that river girl beat your time with Stephen. Join them and show Stephen what a healthy outdoor girl you are.
Mama, I can't go fishing dressed like this.
That depends on what you're fishing for.
Yoo-hoo! I saw you from the car, and I thought I'd join you if you don't mind.
You're not exactly dressed for fishing, are you?
Fish won't know the difference. You're welcome to join us.
Oh, maybe I'll bring you luck.
Oh!
Oh, Stephen, you got a bite! Pull him in! Pull him in!
I am. Don't pull on. I got him.
Oh.
He's a beauty, too.
Yes, sir is. Oh, good, Stephen.
He's a nice one.
Oh. Oh.
What's the matter, Gloria?
Oh, I must have sprained my ankle.
Oh, well, let me see. Here, wait a second, and I'll help you back to your house.
Oh, would you? I hate to break up your fishing like this. I'm such a helpless ninny. It's a good thing for me there's a big, strong man like you around to help me, or I'd have to crawl home.
Oh.
Oh! Glory, what happened?
I think she caught her dress in my fish hook.
Oh, she sure took off like a scalded dog, didn't she?
It's too bad she tore her dress, but it sure did wonders for a sprained ankle.
How far is it to your college, Stephen?
Oh, it's not very far away in miles, Tammy, but it's 1,000,000 miles away in time. I can't remember when just a few days have passed so quickly.
Well, Grandpa says the onlyest way to make time go by real fast is to enjoy yourself with a good friend. Or have a payment be coming due on something.
Well, I guess I better be going.
Stephen, I've been wondering, can't you go tomorrow with your daddy instead of now?
Well, to begin with, he's going to New York. And he has that lawyer with him. I wouldn't get a word in edgewise.
Oh, well, Seems to me like you and Mr. Brent just hop from place to place like a tender-footed frog on a skillet.
Yeah, I guess we are a peripatetic family.
Oh, no, it ain't that you're pathetic. It's more like you travel a lot.
Goodbye, Tammy. Thanks for the fishing and the talks, and don't be surprised if I write to you.
Oh, glory, Stephen, that would be grand. If you do write to the houseboat, make it to Tammy Tarleton, near Fiddler's Bend, close to Sully's Barn, not far from Rotten Bridge. Goat County.
I don't remember a bridge near your place.
There ain't any. I don't live near them other places either. But you see, 40 years ago, the river shifted, and we've got an old postmaster. Goodbye.
Bye.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Goodbye, Miss Hayes.
Please call me from New York, Mr. Brent, because I have hundreds of items to clear up.
I will, Dwayne. Come along, Tammy.
Oh, Mr. Brent, are you sure it's not backwater in your plans to drop me off like this?
Of course not, Tammy. We're going right near the river on our way to the airport.
Mr. Witt, I don't have to spend me no weekend with Grandpa and Uncle Lucius. Well, I'd be glad to run you up a few letters should you be needing me.
Go.
On the state?
No, thank you, Tammy. We'll struggle along without you.
Oh, well, if it's a struggle, I don't
No. You run along to the river and jump into the arms of your grandfather.
Bye. See ya!
Oh, that's an incredible girl.
Incredible is not the word, Dwayne. The word is impossible. You don't have to hold back. Mr. Brent's out of earshot.
Well, you see, it isn't that I dislike the girl. It's what she does to my nervous system. I mean, when she says things like, I bring you something to chill down your pores, it positively twists my stomach into knots.
I wish she'd go to New York and stay there.
She'll never leave here as long as her family is so close. I mean, that rickety houseboat is within walking distance.
Why in the world don't they fix it up? It's a disgrace.
Oh, they can't afford it, Mrs. Tate. With their income, I'm surprised they could pay their taxes.
Oh? That hadn't occurred to me. You're probably right. I'll see you later, Dwayne.
Now we got come. Jeremy says we're being run up a tree by Tammy's money-rotten friends.
You hold back some, Lucius. What I said was a lady come investigating your property lines and asking questions about your taxes and all.
A lady? What lady?
Name was Tate, Lavinia Tate.
Mrs. Tate? Well, she wouldn't do nothing to hurt us. We're deep as a well friends.
I ain't saying one way or the other, Tammy. Ain't rightly my department down at the courthouse. But from what I could overhear, this Tate lady is trying to buy up your property here for back taxes.
Back taxes? Why, we couldn't hold more than a year or two at the outside.
7 years, Mordecai.
All right, 7 years. Don't pick pin feathers for a couple of days.
We're treed, flat out, bald-faced treed is what we are.
Now, hold on, Uncle Lucius. Jeremy same as said he only overheard some talk. And we rightly thank you for caring about us, Jeremy. But just the same, it's only tongue-lagging.
We're treed. 3 helpless possums looking down out of a sycamore tree. Mordecai, I'm telling you, my blood tells me to get my shotgun.
You'll do no such thing, Uncle Lucius. Miss Tate and I are very good friends. I'm going over there and have a talk with her. Thanks again, Jeremy.
Now, hold on there a minute, Jeremy. I just had me an idea. Now, we's afloat, and that woman don't own this water.
You got her more to the land, Mordecai, so you better find your deed to this property here and see what it says.
I'll do that.
I'm purely sorry to rotten up your day. Well, so long, everybody.
Bye, Jeremy.
Bye, Jeremy.
Bye, Jeremy.
What does our deed say, Grandpa? We ain't got one.
Tarletons have been on this river for 200 years. What do we need with an old deed?
Well, how come you ain't paid no taxes for 7 years, Grandpa?
Well, ain't nobody ever asked me, except real polite.
Something tells me I got a grandpa and an Uncle Lucius that just sticks their head in the sand so they won't see nothing. This time we might lose our land.
Tammy, you're taking on a fit.
You bet I'm taking on.
Ain't you proud the way I found out about this?
Finding out is one thing, Uncle Lucius, but you're just as much at fault as Grandpa is. The thing that would make me real proud of you would be to find a piece of paper that says we own something. My respects.
Little Irish blood snuck into that girl back in 1722.
Yeah. Flares up now and then, too.
I'm sorry, Tammy, but my hands are tied. You see, dear, I have a business manager, and he seems to think we need the land along the river for a project he has in mind.
What project, Miss Tate?
Why, a lovely park, I believe he said. Yes, a park, something to benefit the community.
Miss Tate, if you take that land, Grandpa and Uncle Lucius is going to have to drift that boat down the river maybe 100 miles.
And you'll miss them, won't you, dear?
Oh, I purely will.
Well, if it was my family, I wouldn't desert them when they left. I'd find some way to stay with them.
Well, I'll decision on that when the time comes. Couldn't you explain to your manager that turning folks out of their homes is downright unneighborly?
Well, I'm afraid it's impossible to reason with the man.
But couldn't you talk to him like a hawk shakes a snake? Tell him that you just
planning my estate, Tammy. This property thing's only a small part of it. You do understand, don't you, dear?
Only in my head, Miss Tate. My heart don't understand it nohow. Hello, Brent residence.
Tammy, this is Stephen.
Oh, Stephen. Oh, your daddy ain't come home from his trip yet, and Mr. Witt went to the doctor. He's got a blister on his bowling thumb.
Well, I didn't call them. I called you.
Me?
Yes. I know I promised to write, but I've been cramming for finals all this last week, and, well, there wasn't time. Now I suddenly remember there's such a thing as a phone.
Well, that's fine, Stephen.
Is something wrong? You don't sound your usual self.
Well, this ain't no time to talk about anything except cheerfuls.
Well, friends talk to each other, don't they, Tammy? If you consider me a friend, you tell me what's wrong.
Well, Stephen, you see, we're fixing to lose ourselves our houseboat on account of we ain't paid the back taxes for 7 years.
Well, listen, Tammy, these things usually take care of themselves. I don't want you worrying. I'll write to you the first chance I get. Bye, Tammy.
Bye, Stephen.
Hello, operator. I'd like to place a person-to-person call to Mr. John Brent, New York City. Area code 212. The number is...
Mordecai, don't open that. Pa's spirit won't rest. You go messing around that chest.
Pa's been gone for 30 years, and you know good and well that if you had any important papers, this is where they'd be.
I'll see you later.
Lucius, come back here.
Did you call me?
I'm ashamed of you keeping your white lightning in Papa's desk.
I'll be doggone. I wonder how that stuff got in there.
Don't play act me, Lucius.
Hey, there's a family good book. If Pa had any papers, they'd be in there. Find anything?
My birth certificate. Mordecai Tarleton, born July 17th, 1800 and... Tarnation, I'm getting on into middle age.
Well, I ain't. I won't have my full growth for another 10 years.
Here's something.
Uh-oh. Well, quit reading yourself. What's it say?
Well, it's dated 1722. And it's a land grant to Sylvester Tarleton.
Sylvester?
Our great-great-great-granddaddy.
Oh.
They worded and spelled mighty peculiar in them days, but unless I'm mighty mistook, we own half the land in the county, including the Tate place.
Well, I'll be doggone. Mordecai, that's just like you read to me out of the good book. The meek shall inherit the earth. Remember?
Therefore, there is no need for the Brent College Scholarship to flounder upon the rock of iconoclastic influences. How can you spell a word like iconoclastic when I know for a fact that you can't pronounce it?
When I do my reading, the words go right into my head. When I do my writing, the words turn right back into reading without any talking in between.
All right. As rock of iconoclastic influences, I therefore propose that Tammy, today, Tammy, I therefore propose.
I'm sorry, Mr. Witt. I was just sitting here thinking on how Grandpa and Uncle Lucius are going to do when they have to get.
Get?
To get out. Looks like they're going to have to move on. Our friend who works for the county come and told us about Miss Tate buying up our property for back taxes.
Tammy, I didn't know about this, really.
Oh, I know you didn't, Mr. Witt. And it ain't Miss Tate's fault either. You see, she's got this business manager that made her do it.
Well, yeah, something made her do it. But where will your family go?
Downriver. There's still some mooring land near Three Forks.
That's almost 150 miles from here, isn't it?
Yeah, just about. Of course, I'll stay with you till you find a new girl.
Do you mean that you're leaving?
A young man is here to see Miss Tarleton, sir.
Why, Dewey! Hi, Dewey.
Hi, Miss Tammy.
Oh, Mr. Witt, this here's Dewey Maine McKinley.
Hello, Dewey.
Real proud to meet you, Mr. Witt. Miss Tammy, I complete bring you some writing from your granddaddy.
Complete brang you.
Mr. Witt, I got wonderful news for you.
Oh, what's that?
You ain't gonna lose me after all.
Shopping?
Yes, and I didn't find a thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear.
Oh, Mama, can we have lunch now? I'm starved.
We'll have to make it ourselves, dear. I let Pearl have a couple of days off to visit her sister.
Make it ourselves?
There is such a thing, Gloria. Many people do their own cooking. By the way, if I were you, I'd start practicing on the typewriter.
Oh, why?
It's possible John may lose Tammy.
Oh, Mama, you're just trying to cheer me up.
No, dear. The Tarletons are having property difficulty, I believe. So practice.
Mama, come quick!
What are you doing in my living room?
My respects, ma'am.
I ask you a question, Mr. Tarleton. What are you doing in my living room?
Well, you got your wording a little bit wrong there, Miss Tate. It should go something like this. Mr. Tarleton, what you doing sitting here smack in the middle of your own living room?
His mind is snapped. Don't make any sudden moves or speak too loudly. Don't you have a living room on your raft, Mr. Tarleton?
Houseboat, ma'am, not raft. Now, you ask me a question, I'm going to give you an answer. Of course, we got a living room on our houseboat, but it just so happens that this here living room happens to be mine, too. Along with about 4 feet in the lower bathroom yonder.
Oh? What makes you think so?
My land grant.
Your land grant says you may occupy my living room?
That's right, ma'am. This room happens to be sitting right spang across one corner of my property. Lucius figured we owned the whole house, but we stepped it off real careful a couple of times. And the property line runs right across here and into the bathroom yonder. Couldn't take the whole house, fair is fair.
Mama, it looks authentic.
Do you actually think you can come in here and take over my home?
I quit thinking it the minute I come in here and started doing it. Don't you fret, Miss Tate. Lucius and me, we own hunks out of practically everybody's property around here.
What do you think you're doing? I think I'm stopping you with a gun. Hey, ain't you afraid you'll run this thing under a leaf or something, get stepped on?
Is this a holdup?
No, it's just that I don't like strangers driving across the Tarleton property, that's all.
Tarleton land? This is Mr. Brent's property.
It was. We found ourselves a land grant. This roadway, the barn yonder, and the south fields is ours.
Get out of my way, Lucius Tarleton. I have business to take care of in town. I mean, I really ought to get into town, sir.
I ain't saying you can't.
Oh, you ain't? Aren't?
I got a real nice deal worked out. 50 cents one way, $1 round trip, 75 cents weekdays.
Well, that's very reasonable. I mean, that is very reasonable indeed.
That'll be 10 cents to pass through here to the kitchen, 15 cents to play the piano, and a nickel for just sitting around.
You're absolutely mad.
Oh, no, ma'am. I got a heart full of sweetness. It's just that I got taxes to pay. And after I get them paid, why, I'm going to turn this whole thing into a public park.
We'll see about this. Come, Gloria.
Oh, Mama, I'm starved. Couldn't I please just have a little piece of bread?
Well, I'll tell you what, you're a young gal with growing bones. I'm going to give you my permission to pass over my land free of charge.
Oh, well, thank you.
Gloria! Gloria!
The Tarletons have a land grant. I drove into town to see what could be done about it. Those county bumpkin officials said that they couldn't do anything until they saw it.
I saw it. It looks authentic.
But what are we going to do? Mr. Brent is due home tonight.
We're going to explain to Mr. Brent that people are standing on his property with guns. People named Tarleton. I don't think he'll like that. Where's Tammy?
Well, of course he's not going to like it. I just hope that he gets home in time to see some savage charge him 50 cents to use his own driveway.
Now, you finish that, Kitty, and we'll see about getting you some stomach-stuffing food. You look mighty puny.
What is that animal doing on Mr. Brent's table?
Oh, she done lost a fight with a rat out in the barn. I figured it was time to muscle her up some.
Here, give me that thing.
Mr. Witt, don't take it too far. I promised her some solid victuals.
Tammy, I'm a little disappointed in you.
Oh, you're right, Miss Tate. I shouldn't have let Mr. Witt haul that kitty away.
Oh, it's not that. Tammy, did you know your grandfather is in my living room this very moment charging me to sit in my own chairs?
What?
15 cents to play the piano, 10 cents to go upstairs, and $1 a week to cross to the kitchen.
Why, that old varmint.
I thought that would disturb you. Tammy, do you think my home should be invaded and that I should be charged to use my own possessions?
Well, we found out that our property crosses yours, and Grandpa was to come over and have a talk with you. You see, we're desperate to get them back taxes paid off. Didn't Grandpa sit and have a talk with you, Miss Tate?
Yes, Tammy, with a gun.
And there is another relative of yours outside with a small cannon. He charges 50 cents to use the driveway. $1 for a round trip, except when he changes his mind. And your blasted cat scratched me.
They sitting out there with guns?
Yes, dear. And it's regrettable, too. You see, I persuaded my business manager to drop the matter of your property and,
When Mr. Brent finds out that they have made a cheap land grab, he'll fire Tammy. Oh, you are shrewd, Mrs. Tate, really shrewd.
And she sweet-talked her business manager to quit taking our property, but that's not enough for you, no. You gotta go there and nickel and dime them to death.
I never collected a quarter.
What I got, I earned.
Do you know what you two done?
No, what'd we do?
You went over there not to get back your right, not to talk to him, but you went over there and gave him trouble out of pure cussed ornery revenge. Going and poking guns at people ain't my idea of a two-way talk. Anyway, what did Mr. Brent ever do to you?
Well, it ain't what he's done. It's what's all right.
Well, setting on Mr. Brent's property and charging him off and ons like it was a toll road ain't any way to thank a man for being so nice to your kin. Mean to me.
How you figure we're going to get them taxes paid, then?
Well, I'm getting paid. I'll installment plan the county a little at a time. And another thing, We're gonna frame this land grant from George III, and that's all we're gonna do with it. Still and all, it doesn't make you ponder some. I wonder how much land the king done gave us, Tarletons.
Considerable, I'm sure, Tammy.
Oh, for goodness sake, Tammy, babble to yourself. Mr. Brent and I are breaking down a plant inventory report.
A young visitor for Miss Tarleton.
I'll do a Maine. I'll go for me. Well, it says here that Grandpa went to the county and we don't owe no back taxes. It was a mistake.
Well, that's impossible. The county doesn't... You didn't.
My dear Tammy, I got your letter and was delighted that your spirits are so much higher. It was a wonderful stroke of luck your grandfather found in the land grant. I can just picture Miss Tate's face.
When she thought that she was going to lose her property. Now quit that, Nanny. I know it's good, but this is one letter I'm going to keep. I'm glad Dad got home a little early, and I agree with you. The person who so mysteriously paid up those back taxes will surely be rewarded in heaven. Maybe your troubles are about over. Well, you know, Nanny, I think Stephen's right. I think our bads have circled around and started bumping into our goods again.
Yes, thank you, Dwayne.
Mama, where's that expensive perfume of yours? Oh, here it is.
Well, I just had my usual depressing phone call from Dwayne. He says Tammy's receiving a letter almost daily from Stephen. I vow that girl was put on this earth to plague me.
A daily letter? He sent me one postcard showing a view of the campus dry cleaners. What's wrong, Mama? I'm beautiful, so it can't be that.
It's not enough that Tammy's making a fool out of Stephen. Now she has your brother Peter writing to her from school.
She is casting a spell over every male around here.
She even has John acting more like a father figure than an employer.
She's defeating us, isn't she, Mama? And unintentionally at that. Actually, Tammy seems to be basically sweet and kind.
Gloria, how many times have I told you that sentimentality is a luxury that a Tate cannot afford?
I'm sorry, Mama. It just was a slip.
Well, don't let it happen again. It's much too reminiscent of a weak streak occasionally displayed by your father.
But, Mama, what are we gonna do about that miserable little swamp creature?
That's the spirit, dear. Well, I think you should begin by thinking of various ways to make Tammy look bad the next time Stephen comes home from college.
Oh, what a delightful mental exercise.
Yes. Meanwhile, since this is Tammy's day off, I intend to visit John and bring into focus the terrible social threat she represents.
Wonderful, Mama. What's that?
The Tates and the Brents have a history of culture and refinement, a legacy of social enlightenment. If there's anything John should be proud of, it's his heritage. I'm simply going to make him aware of the vast discrepancy between our world and the world of Tammy Tarleton.
That's very clever, Mama. It might work.
Don't be negative, dear. It will work.
Cymbeline, put some muscle into that. Houseboat, ho! Did somebody call? We'll stash a bit of the rest of the livestock. Now, hold on there. What do you mean, stashing? That pig's ours. Well, I figure hospitality could offer up a hog for visitors. And I suggest you don't start accepting our hospitality until we offer it to you.
Hi there. Do we know you folks?
Well, I reckon all river folk know one from another. Name's Grundy. Out there, Cymbeline, we put into shore for provisions.
You aiming to pay for them?
Uncle Lucius.
Why, we'll work for our keep. Come on, Cymbeline. These good folks want us to visit with them a little bit.
From the looks of them, a dunking in the river wouldn't hurt them none. Come on, Sibyl.
I don't recall inviting nobody in for no visit.
I'm telling you straight, and I'm telling you true, Mordecai. Them folks is pure cobra in a box. You better get shed of them.
Well, they is a mite pushy, but you can't turn them out. Like you always said, Grandpa, there's always good in everybody.
Well, that's true, child, but I got a feeling we're going to have to scrape a little deep to find it in these folks.
Here, Sibylline, stash this bun in your pocket against the time we're back in the river. Oh, girl, slop a little of that gravy in my stew.
Slop your own gravy on your own stew.
You, folks got a purpose on this part of the river, or are you just drifting through?
Got a purpose. Looking for kin.
You're, looking for your kin, eh?
Yep. And when we find our kin, we aim to share all our worldly goods with them. Always been that way. Generous-like. Is that yellow lard or butter, girl?
Why don't you give your wife some butter?
That ain't my wife, it's my sister. Yep. Saving her charms for the right man, Sibylline is.
If you folks is looking for kin, maybe we can be of some help to you. I don't believe you ever mentioned what your last name was.
Tate's her name. Grundy and Sibylline Tate.
I'm Lady Tate.
So you honestly don't believe that we ought to tell Grundy and his sister that his kin is just over the hill?
No, Grandpa. There's no telling what they do to poor Miss Tate.
Set her aristocratic type blood to boiling if she knew she was kin to the likes of them.
Yeah, they're settling down their flea-bit barge for the night.
What you set the alarm for?
Come 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to get up and cut them adrift.
Now, Lucius, there's gum-brained, mule-mouthed, sinful, and wicked-eyed, but there's getting Tarleton hospitality, and there's going to keep getting Tarleton hospitality, and don't you forget it.
That Sibylline woman's giving me flat-out spang love looks.
Uncle Lucius, you bring them love looks down on your own head.
Well, it's a curse to be handsome, Tammy. But I reckon there's nothing a body can do about it, except maybe get a spiky stick and beat 'em off.
Well, remember now, both of you. When I go over to the Brent's place tomorrow, don't say nothing to them two about Miss Tate. Most of the times it's wrong to steer loose from the truth, but something tells me this time we're gonna get forgave for it. Good night, Grandpa.
Good night.
Good night, Uncle Lucius.
Good night. There must be some way I can ugly myself up. It just ain't fair that this face of mine should tear the women folks up like it does.
And their names is Grundy and Sibylline. But the thing that riffles the river the most is that
their last name is Tate. I know it don't seem likely, but I figure them to be sure pure kin to your neighbors, the Tates.
Your neighbors, the Tates?
Yeah, just listen to this. It ain't right to horse around with fate, I know that. But I figure fate's got a lot more important folks to bring together than a bunch of Tates, especially Tates that won't mix no better than a bowl full of kitty cats and goldfish.
That's either the funniest letter in the world, or you're prejudiced.
Huh? Oh, I'm prejudiced, I guess. Boy, I'll sure be glad when school's over Friday. I've never been this anxious to get home.
Well, you say you got your girl out to work, eh? I reckon you have her paycheck sent directly to you so she won't go trifling with it.
Tammy's pays her own.
Oh, I understand your reasoning. You let her keep her pay, and she light fingers a few doodads for you in her spare time. Family devotion's right touching.
Tammy don't light finger nothing.
Morning, folks. Got a special delivery for you, Mordecai.
Well, fetch it here, Spangler.
Anything you want to share with the town?
No, Spangler, it's just another one of them Romantic love poems from the Tate boy for Tammy.
Ain't no Tates around here, you say?
Is that what I did say that, didn't I?
Sure, there's Tates around here, but you don't credential too good for my money. How do we know you're a Tate?
Why, we're pure blue bloods, me and Sibylline. Our kinfolk flat came over from England with Billy the Conquistador and all them folks. Well, we've been on this river 200 years, and we got this. That's a Tate crest. Pure Tate. Can't buy that in no dime store, mister.
I'm Lady Tate.
Lavinia, the Tarletons settled here long before the Brents and the Tates. They're the original landholders here. We're the interlopers.
There's quite a difference between coming over on a convict ship, as I understand they did, and arriving on a ship which the family owned, as the Tates did. Goes against my grain to say a thing like this, John, but if we were in England now, I'd be Lady Tate.
Lady Tate?
Lady Tate? Is that actually true, Mrs. Tate?
Only if we were in England. We're not in England, so it's of little importance.
Mrs. Tate is too modest. She wears the Tate crest.
Oh, could I look on it, Miss Tate? Great jumping catfish. Look at those funny critters.
Your family, I presume, Mrs. Tate?
Yes. Your table is quite correct for your guest tonight, John. I think I'll just run along home now and change.
Thank you, Lavinia. You know, I don't know what I'd do without her. She takes care of everything for me. Whenever we have a social event here, we...
Pardon me, Mr. Brent. There are some people here who says they're looking for...
Just a moment there, girl. I'll do my own talking. The sister and me, we come here looking for our kinfolk. Tarleton tells us they hang out here more than they do at home.
Out! Take your person and your tatters elsewhere.
Never mind, Dwayne. I'm John Brent. Can I help you?
Well, it's about time somebody did something around here. We come here to offer our kinfolk our trust and our love and our affection and all our worldly goods, and we expect them to do the same by us. Now, where's they at?
I don't even know your name, sir.
Name's Tate.
Tate?
Grundy Onyx Pure Water Tate.
Are you sure?
Am I sure? That shares the family crest.
I'm Lady Tate. Lady Tate.
What happened?
Well, we found you out there, and we carried you in here.
You was out colder than an egg in a blizzard.
Those people?
It's all right. They're gone. They didn't see you. Tammy took care of that.
Oh, these bad people, Miss Tate. They cheat and steal and untrue everything they say. Except for one thing. I got a stomachy feeling they're telling the truth about being your kin.
Yes. He looked like a filthy version of my cousin, Lord Percy Tate of Bilsingham, and she looked like a dirty Aunt Clara, Duchess of Burleigh. What am I to do? How am I going to get rid of those migratory creeps?
I got an idea, Miss Tate. But first, what we gotta do is go over to your house and practice some stuff.
Practice?
One more time, Miss Tate.
I plumb done believe we already plumb done met, Cousin Grundy.
Begging your pardon, Miss Tate, but you got so many plums and duns in there, you ain't got enough room left for talking.
Oh, this is ridiculous, Tammy. I can't go through with it.
Well, we better do it, Mama.
Do we have to fill our conversations with spangs and flat-outs and ain'ts and the like? Won't they understand us if we speak English?
Sure, they'll understand, Miss Tate, but that's uppity talk. And uppity talk means money to hateful people like your kin. Oh, I didn't mean to spiteful mouth your relatives, Miss Tate.
Spiteful mouth. I'll never learn it.
Let me try one. My respects, Cousin Grundy, but it sure is a fair moon bouncing night tonight, ain't it?
You do that much too well, Peter.
My relatives. Your girl worded me she's gonna go and get 'em and fetch 'em here.
Well, if Tammy worded you she'd fetch him here, she'll fetch him. Would
Would you mind not edging me into the wall, Lady Tate? I'm getting elbow splinters.
You, gotta not expect too much now. Even if you notice your relatives is wearing fancy duds and talking kind of uppity.
We're willing to share their conditions no matter what.
Somebody's coming.
Hi, Mr. Tate. Took a little doing, but I finally located Joe Penn.
Them ain't no Tates.
Howdy, Cousin Grundy. Dog my eyes if you ain't the genetic duplication of Cousin Percy.
Hey, talk is that there?
Oh, well, they come from a bend in the river that puts them near to Spine County.
Spine County folks talk real raggedy-mouthed.
My, look at this riverboat here. Ain't this a grand place?
Well, bless my soul, it sure is.
Hey, you know, you is the first rich Tates we've ever come across in years.
Yeah, this is a lot nicer than our cave.
Cave? Why, them ain't no Tates. We Tates has got class.
I'm Lady Tate.
Oh, shut your head up, Sibylline.
Show Mr. Tate your ring, Mrs. Tate.
This here come to me from my grandmama Tate, bless her skeleton. Let go of my hand, you filthy... Ain't nobody touched my hand since my husband kicked off, but I reckon it's spang flat out okay, you being a Tate and all. Here, eyeball your retina on the Tate crest.
Yeah, that's a Tate crest, all right. But that ain't our houseboat. That's ourn over there.
Oh, we sure spang flat out appreciate your hospitality, Cousin
We
Grundy.
surely, purely do.
Oh, that didn't...
I get the pig. I get the pig, Ma. You always said I could have me a pet, and I'll teach him to sit up and everything.
Now, hey, fighting children, we'll see, Peter. If there's only one pig, we'll have to share 5 ways. Us 3 and Cousin Grundy and Sibylline. We'll take turns milking her.
Milking a pig?
Oh, they don't know nothing about livestock.
We won't be no bother to you, Cousin Grundy. It'll be nice to have a man around to do for us. Come, children, let us board Cousin Grundy's yacht.
Yacht? Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. I gotta put it up for you. Come on, Sibylline. Come on, woman. Come on. We're gonna put it up for you. We'll get it all ready for you. Yeah, we're gonna fix the boat up real pretty for you. Here goes.
Grandpa, it's working.
Why don't we all have a nice cold drink of water?
Hold on to your brains a minute more, Miss Tate. They'll be gone and just before you can say hospitality.
What's happening? Is it working?
Just keep drinking, son. Just keep drinking.
Tammy, you're a wonder. They're shoving off.
I'm Lady Tate. Sibylline, push!
Come, children, let's get out of these filthy rags before someone of quality sees us.
Tammy,
What is it, Grandpa?
you're watching the clock. You don't want to be late for work.
Don't worry, Grandpa. I won't be late. Especially this morning.
Hey, ain't that your best dress?
Well, now that you mention it, I guess it is.
Ain't you wearing some of that sweet-smelling perfumery?
Oh, just a dab or 2.
Anything special about this morning?
No, just an ordinary kind of day, I figure. There's letters to get out, filing to be done, Stephen's getting home from college, and there's errands to be run and telephone.
Whoa. Somewhere buried in the middle of that explanation, I think there was an answer. Now, did I hear you say Mr. Brandt's son, Stephen, was getting home from college?
Well, I guess he is getting in this morning at that.
Oh, and that wouldn't have anything to do with you getting all fancied up.
Of course not, Grandpa.
I suppose you're wearing that pretty dress just to get on better terms with that typewrite machine, and that sweet-smelling perfumery is just to dazzle them carbon copies.
Well, maybe I did give a passing thought to Stephen coming home.
Well, I'm glad it was just a passing thought. I wouldn't want to see you going to work in no evening gown.
Now, don't take on, Grandpa. Stephen's a fine young gentleman, and I do want to look my best around him.
Well, that's all well and good, but you hear to me, girl. The best way to impress a man is with your brains.
Oh, that may be part of it, Grandpa, but you got to remember what Grandma used to say.
What was that?
Well, looks is a heap more important than brains, because most men can see a lot better than they can think.
Nonsense, Dwayne. Tammy deliberately dressed us as ragamuffins the other night so that she could see us degraded. It had nothing whatever to do with saving our necks, as you put it. Let me speak to John. New York again?
Mama, Stephen's home and he's going to be alone in the house with Tammy for a whole week.
What's that, Dwayne?
Mama.
Stephen's home from college?
Mama, I said Stephen's home.
Yes, you're right, Dwayne. That could kindle a fire of romance between Stephen and Tammy.
Oh, Mama, what are we gonna do? Tammy's gonna have Stephen all to herself.
All to herself. Oh, please, Gloria. I feel like I'm in an echo chamber. Yes, Dwayne, thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Mama, I just saw Stephen and he told me his father's gone to New York. I don't like what that means.
I don't blame you, dear. It gives Tammy a whole week to sink those homespun hooks of hers into Stephen.
Oh, Mama, I'm scared. I can hear wedding bells. Oh, Mama, it's awful. I have all this beauty and charm and a wonderful personality. Oh, what good is it doing me?
Oh, Gloria, stop acting like a defeated child and help me think of... Wait a minute, that's it. A child for Stephen and Tammy.
Good heavens, Mama. You flipped.
No, dear, quite the contrary. The idea I've just been struck with is not only sane and sensible, but if I do say so myself, it's brilliant.
Oh, what is it, Mama? What is it?
Wouldn't you say that it would destroy Tammy in Stephen's eyes if she proved to be a terrible mother?
Certainly, but I can't wait that long.
You're not with me, dear. My plan is to destroy their little love nest with a rotten egg. You remember my dressmaker's nephew?
That horrible little brat with the freckles?
That's the one. He'll do anything I ask if the price is right. I assure you, my dear, that when the governor's ball rolls around, Stephen won't know that Tammy's alive.
This little fella is from a broken home, you say?
Yes, and with the poor child's mother out of town visiting a sick relative, he has no place to stay.
We could keep him, Stephen, but Mom and I both feel that what he really needs is the companionship of a man.
It'd only be for a week, Stephen, and I know you'd be a wonderful influence on him.
Well, I don't know much about looking after youngsters, but I'll give it a try.
Oh, bless you, Stephen.
Say, and Tammy will be here to help out, too. I'm sure she's great with kids.
Oh, why, yes. I know the little fella's bound to be crazy about Tammy. Who isn't?
We'll deliver the fortunate youngster to you in about an hour.
Fine, we'll be waiting. Bye, ladies.
Goodbye, Stephen.
Mama, I hope the little brat can carry it off.
Don't worry, darling. He's perfect.
I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. I don't care what you say. I ain't gonna do it. You lay a hand on me, I'll hold my breath till I'm blue in the face and drop dead. How's that for openers?
That's fine, Billy Joe. Just fine. Gloria, isn't he perfect?
He'll make Tammy look like a fool in front of Stephen.
And just one more thing. Whenever Gloria corrects you, you're to be a perfect little gentleman. We must show Stephen that she can handle you where Tammy can't.
Here is things, Stephen, what there are of them. Poor little fella.
I know you and Tammy will be a wonderful influence on Billy Joe. Life hasn't been very kind to him up to now.
Well, Billy Joe, what do you think of your new room? It's a real cool setup.
Oh, well, maybe one of the windows was open.
Oh, boy, are you for real? Billy Joe, I had a rattling note. Billy Joe, why would you do a thing like that?
What's going on? What's the matter?
She stumbled over her big, clumsy feet and then tried to blame me.
Billy Joe, you tripped me.
There, you see? You just stop picking on me. That's all you've been doing since I got here. You rich folks are all alike. You're mean.
But Billy Joe, I ain't rich folks.
Well, you sure act like it. Lording it over me and being mean before I've even been here 5 minutes.
Gloria and I better leave now, Stephen. I'm sure this is nothing Tammy can't handle.
Goodbye, Billy Joe. Have a happy time in your new home.
Oh, no, Gloria. Don't leave me. I want to go with you.
There, Billy Joe. I'll talk to him. I declare, Miss Tate, that youngin's as prickly as a porcupine.
Don't worry, Tammy, dear. Gloria'll straighten him out.
All right, Gloria. Anything you say.
Oh, that's a good boy. He's all right now. Ready, Mama?
Yes, dear. Goodbye, Tammy. Stephen.
Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Stephen. Call me anytime you need me.
Bye-bye.
Well, Billy Joe,
I don't know, Tammy. I'm afraid you're going to have trouble with that boy.
Oh, Stephen, I'm not a mite worried. Grandpa says some young'uns is like a thistle bush. Just when you think they ain't worth nothing except plowing under, they blossom out real pretty.
Oh, don't let her beat me.
Billy Joe, what's the matter?
She hit me. I wasn't doing anything and she beat me. What?
Tammy, did you hit Billy Joe?
No, I never laid a hand on him.
She's lying. She beat the daylights out of me. I ain't staying here no more.
Billy Joe, come back.
Oh, really, Tammy? I thoroughly dislike children myself, but at least I don't lose control and resort to violence.
I swear I'm telling you true. I never touched him.
Well, I don't understand this at all. The poor boy's hysterical. Come on, Dwayne, we've got to find him.
That's right, Stephen. Billy Joe is here. I knew you'd be worried, so I called you immediately. Well, he was terribly upset, but Gloria calmed him down and put him to bed. She's simply marvelous with children. Yes, she'll bring him over in the morning. Good night, Stephen.
Mama, I'll feel a lot better when we send that sleeping monster back home to his cage.
You know, for that running away idea of his, I had to promise him a radio for the handlebars of his new bike.
He is a nasty, scheming little blackmailer. I don't trust him.
Well, he does make me feel somewhat uncomfortable when he says things like, you're going to come across or do a rat on you to Stevie boy.
Oh, Mama, do you think he will?
No, Gloria. Billy Joe has such a greedy, avaricious nature. I know we can keep him under control. After all, we understand him.
Yes, he is sort of our kind of people, isn't he?
Oh, this here cake's gonna be the yummiest cake you ever tasted, Billy Joe.
Sure was nice of you to surprise me with it. Chocolate cake's my favorite.
Well, you just keep on being a good boy and there'll be lots of surprises for you.
Bye.
Tammy's kitchen wizardry seems to be placating Billy Joe. Obviously, the way to that little monster's heart is through his evil little stomach.
Tammy's trying awful hard with the boy.
Maybe, but if Gloria Tate were here, she wouldn't have to bake a cake to please him. She seems to have a knack with youngsters. It's amazing.
Well, don't sell Tammy short. She'll win him over yet.
There. Now it's all finished.
That's great. Here, you get the first bite.
Billy Joe!
Now what's happened?
Billy Joe just outed. I didn't know what I was doing. When I'm around her, I just get all upset.
Tammy, I'm afraid you just gotten in over your head with that boy.
If it's all right with you, Stephen, I'd like to have a few pointed words with that young'un, and I know just the place to have 'em.
Where you taking me anyway?
Down to the houseboat to meet my grandpa. You are plumb full of orneriness that needs taken out, and he's the best taker-outer I know. Now get.
Doing fine, Billy Joe. I got a feeling that Tammy's gonna be real proud of you.
That's enough. I ain't no lumberjack. I'm hungry. I know you ain't, old-timer.
You want to try that again, boy? And this time put some care and thought into it.
Okay. Please, kind sir, is this enough chopping wood? Can we knock off some groceries now?
Them words will do for mouth, and you can put your heart into it later. Keep chopping.
I told you I'm hungry. I want some chow.
Well, wanting ain't getting. Now, you ain't got enough kindling there to warm up a tadpole, let alone fry catfish. Chop or chew grass, boy.
Grandpa, I'm happy to report that Billy Joe has done all the chores and is ready for victuals.
Is that right?
But what'd you think I was doing all the chopping for? To make mussels?
How's that again, boy?
Yes, sir. I finished the chopping.
Fine, fine. Here you go.
What's this for?
Oh, your supper. Go right out there and catch it fresh out of the river.
You're off your rocker. I want to eat now. You hear now?
Ooh, shouldn't have done that, boy. Scare all the catfish away. They won't be back for hours.
Then what'll I eat? Gotta eat.
Well, go out there and climb the trees and look for squirrel eggs.
Oh, there's no such thing.
And I guess you'll just have to wait until the fish get back.
He's as stubborn as a mule, ain't he?
Never seen a mule I couldn't handle. You just hold out a carrot on a stick. And if the carrot don't work, stick will. Got anything yet?
Oh, sure. But it was only a couple yards long, so I threw it back.
Well, you're not gonna catch no fish with your bait laying dead in the bottom mud like that. You gotta quiver it around a little so the fish will think there's some wiggles left in that worm. Just keep it moving.
Hey, I got something.
Hey, pull him in, pull him in. Get over here. Ooh, yeah. Look at that. Glory on your head, boy. That's the hunkiest catfish I ever did see.
Ain't it the most? You know, that's the first fish I ever got in my whole life.
You're joshing.
No, honest. I never been fishing before. I'm a city kid.
Do tell. Well, you're a natural-born fisherman, Billy Joe. Now, you just take that in, and Tammy will fix it for you supper.
You take it in. Please, I'm gonna catch me some more fish. This is really kicks.
Oh, it's high time you two got home. The sun's about to bed down for the night. Oh, Billy Joe, your game bag is plumb filled.
He took to hunting just like he did the fishing. He's got every rabbit within a mile running for its hidey-hole.
Oh, I was just lucky. Grandpa taught me how to shoot. You gotta keep it moving out in front of the rabbit. Then when you're leading him just right, pow, rabbit stew.
Grandpa's a good teacher, all right. Oh, well, I reckon you pleasured yourself enough for one day. It's time for bed now.
Ah, do I have to go to bed so early?
Oh, you don't have to. But if you're figuring on getting up to see what I got in my varmint traps, you're gonna have to get up before dawn.
You mean I can go trapping? Wow, what do you catch?
Oh, muskrat and possum, raccoons aplenty.
And if you like, Billy Joe, I'll make you a coonskin cap with a dangly tail on it.
Hey, thanks, Tammy. Good night, Grandpa.
Good night, son. Sleep well.
Good night, Tammy.
No.
Welcome home, John.
Good morning, ladies. Steve, will you take these, please?
Sure, Dad.
What a nice welcoming committee.
Did you have a nice trip?
Yes, fine. Oh, Steve tells me he and Tammy had a lot of trouble with this boy they took in.
I don't want to say it was all Tammy's fault. The boy was rather incorrigible, but I must say Gloria had no trouble at all handling him.
Oh. He always came running to me. We were so simpatico. Well, Mr. Brand, it's nice to see you home safe and sound.
Thanks, Tammy.
Billy Joe, you little darling, you've come home to me.
Please, ma'am, I wish you'd stay away from me. That gushy stuff of yours is awfully hard to take.
Mr. Brent, this here's Billy Joe Morgan. Say you're glad to meet Mr. Stephen's daddy.
How do you do, sir? It's a real pleasure.
I'm glad to know you, son. Is this the boy you said was incorrigible, Lavinia?
Oh, he started out right mischiefy, but he was never what you call bad.
Oh, yes, I was. I gotta be honest with you, Mr. Brent. When I first come here, I was 100% stinker. But Tammy sure straightened me out.
Well, Billy Joe took to it real good. It's what Grandpa calls rivifying a youngin'.
Well, Billy Joe, I suppose you realize what this means.
I sure do, Mrs. Tate. It means I like catfishing and rabbit hunting and coon trapping a lot more than riding an English bike. Including racing tires and a handlebar radio.
Mama, Tammy has actually succeeded in turning Billy Joe into a respectable, honest little boy.
Well, Steve, has this experience taught you anything?
Well, I have learned one thing for sure.
Well, what's that?
If ever I get married, I sure hope I have someone like Tammy around to straighten out little stinkers.
Thank you, Steve. Morning.
Oh, Mama, you're happy. I can tell by your voice. I love it when you're like this.
Thank you, my dear. I'll admit there's a song in my soul.
Wonderful. Who are you going to do what to?
Well, you know the governor's ball that John's giving is coming up soon.
can hardly wait. Well, what about it?
Guess who's making out the invitations?
Who?
Tammy. You wait just so long and Kismet's bound to hand you a gift. This time, my dear, we're going to send our little water nymph downstream without a paddle.
Oh, Mama, she's been winning the war and all the battles. Oh, maybe we've been doing the wrong thing. Maybe we ought to change our attitude.
You're not suggesting that we simply let Tammy move in and take Stephen away from us? I mean you.
No, Mama, but it just occurred to me if we're going to win out, let's clobber her good.
Oh, that's my girl. For a minute there, I thought some of your father's genes had broken loose in your bloodstream. This is going to be my masterpiece.
I'll put that dreadful Mrs. Gerard next to the dean on his left at dinner, and the governor will be on Mr. Brent's right.
Oh, don't you mean Mr. Alden, the used to be governor?
A former governor is still called governor as a matter of courtesy.
Then I'll call governor when I send him one of the come-overs.
Right. Come-overs? Oh, you mean the invitation.
That's right.
May I help out for a while, Dwayne?
Oh, would you? Thank you. You can help Tammy address the come-overs.
We was going over the list for the big do.
Why, Tammy, I don't see your family on the list.
Well, I don't reckon Mr. Brent would want my family to come.
Well, I don't presume to speak for Mr. Brent, but you know what a dear man he is. And he's invited prominent families. Well, I wouldn't want to be quoted, mind you, but I feel sure that Mr. Brent would want you and your family to attend.
You reckon? Aunt Claude and Uncle Leviticus, too?
They sound delightful.
Oh, glory be on your head, Miss Tate. I'll invite them to come over after the eating so as not to crowd the governor and all.
Oh, and be sure and tell him it's a white tie affair.
Oh, I surely will, Miss Tate. Oh. Well, I don't have anything to wear to a fancy do like that.
You leave that to me, dear.
Oh, Miss Tate. Someday I'm gonna do something for you.
I believe you're doing it. That's not the gown I brought you.
Yes, ma'am. I just tamed it down in my...
You look lovely, Tammy.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Brand.
Isn't it about time that you two dance?
It's a good idea. May I have the pleasure?
Sure. My stomach's already dancing around. The rest of me may as well get in on it.
You're quite a dancer, aren't you?
Well, if the one that's doing the leading knows what it's doing, the following pop comes easier and swimming to a tadpole.
May I say, Miss Tarleton, you are a sheer delight to dance with.
Oh, my thanks, Governor. And you dance mighty like yourself, considering your big feet and all.
I hope you're having a good time, Tammy.
Oh, Mr. Brent, I've never been more gladful in all my born days. Well, here I am, all fancied up, dancing with you and your boy Stephen and the governor. Well, I'm happier than a barn swallow nesting in sweet clover hay.
Oh, Tammy, you're a breath of fresh air.
Mr. Brent, there are some creatures at the door, sir. They actually have invitations.
My kinfolk have arrived. Come on. Lucius, I'm right pleased you made it.
How are you, Tammy? Just show us where the do is. We'll take care of ourselves.
Mr. Brent, Aunt Claude.
How do?
And Uncle Leviticus.
Hi, y'all.
And the boys.
Yeah, the boy.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, Mama, look at those awful people.
Yes. I thought they'd never get here.
How do you like our white ties?
Oh, yeah.
Well, is something wrong?
Oh, the music stopped.
Oh, yes, so it did. Somehow I just didn't notice.
Hey, shouldn't we get back on inside and join the party?
Wait, why don't we look at the garden first? I'm worried about Dad's prize roses.
Bugs are chomping on them?
No, it's the moon. Haven't you noticed? So full and bright tonight, it just might wither them.
Oh, Stephen.
Hello, you dear people.
Evening, ma'am.
Enjoying the party?
Well, it's mighty quiet for a dude.
So glad you noticed. Things are frightfully dull, aren't they?
Well, it's a sorry do when there ain't no hooting or hollering.
You're so right. I've tried to put some life in the party, but I'm afraid I failed.
Don't you pet no never mind, ma'am. Us Tarletons know how to liven up a do. We sure do.
Really? How fortunate for everyone.
Boys, put it down. Put it down.
All right, boys.
May I go now?
Best 2 out of 3, huh?
So embarrassing. That Tammy, this is unforgivable.
Mercy. What's going on inside?
Sounds like the battle of the Little Bighorn. Come on.
I was plumb tuckered out. I better get me a fresh filling. Come on, Miss Tate, let's stomp some. You're young, you might hold up. Come on.
Chicken in the bread pan, picking out those. Bring your partner and let her go.
Glory be!
Young lady, don't you think we've had about enough of you and your family?
Mr. Brandon, it wasn't their fault. They didn't mean no harm. I reckon we just don't belong up here with your kind of folks.
She's been bawling like that since last night. Don't you think it's time to tell her to dry up her tears?
You tell her. You done as much to ruin the do for her as the next one.
You think we embarrassed her?
Well, of course we done. John Brent and his like, they don't hold a normal do. They teeth up their smiles and polite mouth each other and say things they don't mean. We should have known that. Tammy, honey, I know how you feel, but try not to cry no more. Your dumb old grandpa's going to go up there to that Brent place and just apologize his mouth off.
Grandpa, it's all right. You didn't know. The onlyest reason I'm crying is I ruined everything for Mr. Brent and that nice son of his.
Why don't we talk about that?
Mr. Brent. Mr. Brent, I'm plumb sorry about last night. I guess I should have known better than to mix our kind of folks with your kind of folks.
You know, Tammy, I've never really enjoyed parties like the one last night. Maybe the reason is that my kind of folks are too sophisticated to let down their hair. After your people left, things seemed mighty dull. Maybe with you around, we might learn to do our own hooting.
With me around?
Of course. You're the best secretary I ever had.
Oh, Mr. Brand.
Well...
Say now, that calls for a real Tarleton do.
Yeah, we can whoop up some greens and some ribs and some truffle root gravy.
Sounds good.
Sure enough. Come on. You and Beal get the roots over in the bulb. Except maybe you better take off them fancy shoes. It gets might squashy when you're root bogging, you know.
Take off my shoes and walk in the mud. Look at us, John. We're going root bogging.
Yeah.
When she gets her fill of root bogging, we'll teach her wrestling. Swamp style.
Mama? Mama? Is that you?
Oh,
what happened?
I've been root bogging.
Oh.
I couldn't let those people see me looking like this, so I started for home. Where's the car?
I left it near the houseboat. Mama, Tammy's got Stephen all to herself. You let me down.
Will you stop chattering about yourself?
Mama, really, you keep saying how you're going to help me and how clever you are. And all that happens is I get left out. Mama, really, you do look filthy. Instead of having fun root bogging, you should have been thinking about me.
Really, Gloria? Do you have to wear those cast iron girdles? I've hurt my precious little foot. Oh.
Well, I'm glad. You give me a pain in the...
Oh, shut up.
The song of the river is calling. The call of the river is strong.
What's that you're singing, Tammy?
Oh, it's just a river song about a vinegar fly that's happy.
What does a vinegar fly have to be happy about?
Well, he's got the river and the sweet breezes and a lady vinegar fly, I reckon.
It's a good reason. You know, Tammy, when you walked down those stairs last night, I don't think I've ever seen anything lovelier.
Oh, thank you, Stephen. I'm still a mite shaky about everything that happened.
Don't be. Tammy, you're the most real thing that ever happened to the Brents. Especially to me.
For true?
For true. Tammy, will you join me next year at the governor's ball? And at every one after that?
Oh, Stephen, I'd be proud to. Stephen?
Yes, Tammy.
Long live the governor.
Does her darling feel what she feels when he comes near? Her heart beats so joyfully, you'd think that he could hear. Wish he knew if he knew what she's dreaming of. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy.